Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I have turn 58. So let's go ahead and dive on in, because we've got a lot of action again. So first up, it looks like a magic phase attack against Atlantis. We've got illusory attack. Okay. In Barren Crags, we've got magic phase adept. His name is Global Man, but he does not have a global. Ooh. The Witch of the West is here. This could be difficult. Okay, keep an eye on these crossbow bolts. How fatigued are you? 180? He got hit once. He cannot run, but he is routed. Okay, so this attack fails. Does he wake up in time to get away? Almost. He's just slow. Okay. So that Atlantis Adept is killed in Iron Peaks. Got an Arouse Hunger. This should fail. I mean, mostly just for the Ice Guard. Although it's a fair amount of evocations. One Ice Guard is killed, I think, from friendly fire, if I had to guess. But I'm not going to double check. We've got Locusts. They're going to go kill one PD. In Bara, we've got TNG attacking Calum. Little pack of Sacreds. They should win this. In Frosted Peaks, we've got Marignon attacking Atlantis. More Locusts. Do these guys have magic weapons? They do. It doesn't really matter, though. These guys just have straight protection. I was wondering, because I think that's PD. Yeah, so getting magic weapons in PD is pretty nice. Alright, Calum attacking Marignon in Pyrene. Let's see, we've got some Devils. We've got the Research Park. There's a lot of A2s. We have a tiny number of Raven Guard. And then over here, we've got a Fallen Angel. No chakras. Let me see. Protection versus Mundane of 32. These guys do not... They have a magic barbed attack, but it's for 11 against 19. So this Angel's pretty well set up to kill Devils. Phoenix Pyre does go off. I do wonder if all the Kala mages have been given like advancing cast with maybe like a lightning bolt script, if they would have done a little bit better. Oh, here they come. Alright. A lot of Frozen Hearts and Disintegrate. What's the Sierra in this guy? 5? Okay. It's not the craziest MR for Disintegrate. How's the fatigue? 28, so it will Phoenix Pyre, but it is HP routed. But it's going to leave without exploding. Alright, so Calum technically wins that. Gets access to Pyrene again, but does lose 2 mages and 5 devils. In Namor, we've got Tianchi attacking Calum. Another little pack of sacreds. But there is more PD this time. Alright. Sacreds are pretty good against PD. In Doomna, we've got Marignon attacking Calum. And it's a scout. It looks like these leaders have been... Nope. It is a commander. I don't know why it's routed, though. Oh, there's no undead leadership. So the ghouls are routing, so the HP routed the PD. So I wonder if he mind hunted the commander. Or if the commander just died at some point. Okay. Alright, so in Copper Woods, Marignon attacking Atlantis. This is... Oh. Alright, sorry about that. Needed to cough. Alright, so we have a whole line of magic duels. They're all triggering. And then what's over here for targets? I don't think the cap-onlys get astral. But the Forgiving Fathers do. Alright. Let's see, we've got a Fire, Earth, and Astral Mage. Let's see what gets knocked out. Ooh, we see Stygian Reigns, an Atlantis classic. Okay, I'm back again. Alright, so Stygian Reigns goes up. We've got a Leviathan. I did not realize that these guys were amphibious. That's cool. Okay. 143 hit points. A little bit of an evocation magic is decent. MR. Fear 10. Alright. Then we got Grip of Winter. Nevertheless, let's see what happened. So none of the key casters for Atlantis were killed in that barrage of magic duels. Are they fatigued? Almost, but they are routing. Alright, so Marignon lost 5, killed 3. Now Atlantis did have more S2s, so that makes sense. I don't think these chart makers typically get S2. Although I could be wrong. So, alright, a reasonable trade, but this army can continue marching. Although another barrage could kill some of those key casters. So that was here. 8 chart makers go down, so it looks like he picks up the routing troops. I suppose we can see what other spells Atlantis pulls up, because it does gem bait. Does not look like anything crazy. Alright. And then in Boar Woods, we got Atlantis attacking Marignon. Just a little tent owner and his Ice Guard buddies. Now the tent owner is the weak point of this group. He's only got 10 protection. Yeah, he has to look brave by not wearing armor. But it does end up succeeding. In Mudwater Caves, we've got another group of Ice Guard, this time just led by a priest. Ooh. Okay, so it landed on the Ice Guard, but Azat's PD could have definitely had some potential to snipe this priest. Alright. In Panicrator's Legacy, we got two groups of birds going after some PD. Maybe a couple of routed Royal Guard. Are they gonna do stuff? Okay. Sorry. I guess it is only round 3. I should put it on a faster mode. Alright, so Calum wins that one. In Starlit Paladin's Step, we've got another suite of birds killing PD. Alright. In Bell, we've got Marignon attacking Calum. Got another fallen angel here. Oh. What am I doing? I should have gone to the angel. Alright. So the first spell that got off was Soul Vortex. Now the invulnerability is not going to be helping this angel, but the chainmail of displacement will be. So the effective attacks, I believe, get a 50% chance of missing, -10 to attack. Their first attack against this unit before anyone realizes that the unit is displaced. Then they get a -5 penalty. So I think that's something like 9 attack. Now this angel should get harassed down. So theoretically they should be able to damage. I don't think I've seen any of them actually punch through though. It is 21 protection for their 13 damage Ice Lance. So they might just not hit hard enough. Although the Draconian certainly could, but the harassment is starting to lessen. Alright. So the angel succeeds, which means, let's see, where were we? I think Bell? Alright. In Dardanthorn, we've got another fallen angel. This one's got an evening star and a horror helmet. So should theoretically be able to route birds that jump on it. And that horror helmet gives it a fear 10, which is a pretty strong effect. Alright. As the human infantry enter into a race to see who can run away the fastest. In particular, who can outrun their friends. A little bit curious if this guy gets away. He does not. Okay. So that's here. 6 Storm Guard go down. A pretty sizable amount of PD also goes down. In Troll Canyons, we've got Calum attacking Marignan. Another group of birds. They're going to kill 1 PD. In Forbidden Forest, we have another raid by Tianchi. I like how active TNG still is. I think a lot of players would AFK'd at this point. And the fightiness is definitely having an impact on the game. Can they get through the sacreds? Doesn't look like it. So this raid bounces. They only lose... I'm just going to add these together. They only lose 3 ancestor vessels. Because I think rehiring for half still feels like a death. Alright. Then in Falgoth, we've got Calum attacking Marignan. So what's left of an Arouse Hunger going after a scout. Then in Haunted Woods, we've got Marignan attacking Atlantis. So this is the witch from the west, the one that got magic phased on. And it looks like it's going to murder some PD. Okay. So that's here in Glen of Justice. We've got another Marignan attack. These are the 2 merc companies combined with a Royal Guard raid. Or at least I need to check, but I'm pretty sure they're merc companies. In Kaljuk, we've got Calum attacking Marignan. Storm is up. Man, this is a big army. This probably won't gem bait. It should not. Alright. So he gets to see the Marignan army. A lot of gems, a lot of temporary gem gens, a lot of matrix gear. The 3 angels are equipped with gate cleavers for cracking forts. We've also got the horror helmets, chainmails of displacement, a couple of LLPs. And then I believe they've got a storm staff here on this devil. So that was the turn 0 storm. But yeah, it's a pretty serious army. So we'll see who ends up trying to attack it, or if it gets Wind of Death, or hit with Wind of Death, or Murdering Winter is the other one. I keep forgetting that the name of the spell is Wind of Death, but I keep trying to make it a plural form. Let's see. So that was here. I think the Soul Vortex killed a few troops, but didn't get any mages this time. I can check the placement. Are there mages located near these angels? So yeah, like this Mirror Mage is within Soul Vortex. So if you do, you could gem bait this army, and then you could, let's see, and then as part of that, you might get a couple of lucky mage kills from Soul Vortex. Additionally, this devil has a heat aura. Now the heat aura is not going to be very pronounced in cold weather. There's a few devils scattered around here, actually. Yeah, a few more over here. So, I mean, there's some potential here. You could also try to Murdering Winter this army. If you're a Calum, I don't know if he's got the gems for that or the tech. If he doesn't have the tech, I think he's getting soon. It takes a lot of research to hit Army of Bronze. And I forget if he's done Wind of Death before, but it would be a really nice pickup for Calum. Alright. So that was here. In Ultima Tifia, we've got Calum attacking Tianchi. Whole bunch of troops. Not a lot on the other end. In Trackless Woods, Calum's attacking Marignan. Finds 1 PD. Atlantis attacking Orstangrad. Small little army has some ice wolves or winter wolves. Pretty fun unit. You don't see them very frequently, but they have 2 magic attacks. I forget if they always used to have 2 magic attacks. I guess they've got a frost breath now. AoE 1. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I imagine they're actually kind of killy. Strength of Winter. Okay, so they're at 13 HP, I guess. Mindless Ethereal. They do have the Spirit Form tag, so you can't really point buff them. Or point buff them as effectively. There's not much here, though. Wait, where did we... I think it was here. Oh, they caught the scout. Okay. Then in Caverns of Gannett, got a bunch of ghouls. Healing a little bit of PD. Now, some of them are probably going to get banished, but they should win this. Yeah. 2 go down. In Ionia, we have a Fallen Angel with a Frost Brand. Not the strongest weapon against Calum, but it should work well enough against the ND troops. Okay. But Angel cleans up there. It's here. In the Barren Crags, got Atlantis attacking Marignan. I think this is the second army. Definitely, yeah, there's not quite as much mage support. There's no Fallen Angels. It does have a Magic Duel lineup. A few of the Temp Gem items, but generally less mage support. But, I mean, there's no magic on the Atlantean side, so we'll see how it goes. It should gem bait. Alright, so let's see some of the spells that are being cast. So the Communion sets up. Rush of Strength, which is, I think, blood. think that's blood 8 or something. So I think we're getting close to blood 9. Or at least I think he should be able to do 3 red seconds now. There's some group luck. I mean, hopefully we can check in just a second. Legions of Steel. Army of Shades. Anti-Magic. Army of Mist. Fanaticism. Quagmire. Okay. It's a pretty solid lineup so far. Wailing Winds goes up. Some of these Ice Guard are getting stolen. So a fair amount of Enslaved Mind going out. Atlanteans are generally not known for their exceptional MR. There's a reason the squids keep stealing them. Gift of the Furies. I think that's an F1 spell. I don't think that's the AoE 20. I think that's I forget. That might have been a fire gem. See Petrify come out? On pretty big gets on Petrify, so it puts 8 of them on the clock. So this little Atlantean army does cost a fair number of gems, but also has a fair number of turncoats. You can see maybe some of these tick over. It's like 1,000 damage, then they died from the Petrify MR check. Now the other thing I wonder is, do these Atlanteans last long enough to burn out the Communion? So they could score some mage kills just by existing on the battlefield here. Alright, let's see it. Oh, where did we leave off? Was it here? Oh, we got further. Here we go. So the Snow Captain and 64 Ice Guard go down. He does burn out the Communion, so kills 16 chart makers. Marignan gains 23 Ice Guard, but losing that Communion is a pretty big deal. There are some things that Marignan can do to prevent a Communion burning out. They could, with Communion Gear, plug in a Bloodhinged Druid and maybe do like 5 times reinvigoration. So let's see if they did any mitigation effects, because it, you know, it is cold 4. So there's extra encumbrance on spellcasting. These guys do not have cold resist, so their spellcasting encumbrance has an additional 3 from the severe cold. I have a feeling, though, that this guy mostly does. So he's not part of the Communion. What about this Goetic guy? So he is the Communion Master. Alright, let's see. So in terms of the fatigue, you can see the Communion is already running extremely hot. Does this guy contribute? No, he's putting up big fire spells. I don't think there's any other blood mages in this army. I think it's just the Goetic Master and the Bloodhenge Druid. And the Bloodhenge Druid is not part of the communion. He did not get a matrix. So it's up to this guy to try and save this communion by doing reinvigoration. But I have a feeling he does not. Yeah, so he's... And the problem with Marignon communions is they tend to run hot, which means off-path casting, which is double fatigue. And then you've got the severe cold penalty, and so you can see some of these communion slaves have already died. A fair number of them are at 200 fatigue taking damage. So this was a pretty effective trade for Atlantis for not only burning the gems, but killing a significant number of mages. So I'd actually call this a win for Atlantis. Because that army is going to have a much harder time fielding the type of magic that it wants to field now. Alright. So I think that was... Is that Baron Crags? Okay. So in the Expanse of Fallen Heroes, we've got Marignon attacking Atlantis. So yeah, for that prior communion, if that guy had like the back 3 slots set to reinvigoration, it might have given enough longevity to the communion to keep some of those mages alive. Part of the issue with using reinvigoration on a communion as well is if the person casting reinvigoration doesn't think they need to, because they don't take into account the slave's fatigue, then they just won't do it, which is really annoying. I would love it if communions and Sabbaths would just cast what you tell them to, assuming that they have the gems or whatever to be able to cast it, or there's a valid target. But, like, if, say, you've got a mage who's got 0 fatigue, just cast the reinvigoration because you're a communion master. It goes to all the slaves. Like, just trust in this scripting. So, I've definitely had an army kill off a bunch of communion slaves because a vampire did not want to cast reinvigoration. Alright. So, these imps take a province in Felden Forest. What are some other tools? Alright, so the cat rolls out. We've got some of this mirror spam, or illusion spam. Got a few vine ogres for evocation bait. A couple of thugs. Ooh, this is Winds of Death. Okay. But yeah, I think the most reliable way for the Marignon army is maybe to have like a couple of core paths for the communion that you really care about, and then maybe some of those masters that would run hot you give bows to. That's expensive though, because that costs gems to give them bows. I don't... You could have them retreat, but that sucks. Could keep the communion a little bit smaller, just not cast all the things, just identify which things you need. Okay. But yeah, that was pretty effective for Atlantis. Alright, so we're going to have Winds of Death. I think we're going to have Wrathful Skies from the Boar. Maybe Howl? Almost certainly some Magic Duel. But Tianqi's had it with the 1 to 2 Magisters rolling in every turn. Whoops, accidentally unpaused the game first. Okay, here we go. So Winds of Death goes out. That is a very high hit rate, I think. No, that's Arrowfend. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. It's kind of hard to tell. The decay effect is a darker shade than the Arrowfend. Alright, let's see the magic duel. So one Magister goes down so far. Now, the cat does have Ethereal. It looks like it survived a meteor from it. Alright. Let's see. I mean, I don't see any damage in here. Anti-magic goes off. Did the Winds of Death caster die? Adventurer dies. No, it should get off potentially another one. Alright. Wait. Did he cast it? I think this is him. Kind of wondering if his casting got interrupted, but his log shorted out. I am wondering if he got hit with a meteor at all yet. Protective force reduced damage by 20. Oh, is that what this does? 50% chance of blocking. Oh, so it's a 50% chance to block 20 damage. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. So the boar has run on in. Let's try the guy. So did not script Wrathful. Didn't want to kill his mage core, but he has the option to. He's got the air gems on him. See, I mean, this is pretty good attack, so... That shield must be doing work to keep this cat up versus the boar. See a hit for 13 go through. The Kushi and wolves are trying to flee, but they're pinned in. Alright. So, man gets to shortcut the excruciating process of trying to magic duel everything inside the fort. Tianchi loses just about everything. A Master of the Way is inside. An Ancestor Smith got away. does kill 2 bishops, 9 magisters arcane, 1 magister, 26 wardens. So it does take a pretty hefty, or delivers a pretty hefty beating to man. I do want to see what happens to that second Wind of Death. Did that? Okay, so that did cast. Okay, so we did get 2 casts. Alright. So, let's see. Unfortunately, he does not... Either he didn't get a lot of credit for the kills that were done. I think he just didn't really get credit. So I believe a fair amount of stuff died to the Winds of Death. Alright. In Bycliffe, we've got Marignan attacking. So that little crew of Ice Devils, or Frost Fiends that we saw. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize they had a Frost Blast. That's really cool. Alright. So he's got Ice Artillery. Now... Oh, these Unsleepings don't have cold resist. Now, to be fair, neither do the Royal Guard. Is this a fatigue effect? No, it does 10 cold damage. But it's AP. Okay, and these guys have pretty decent armor. The Unsleepings. But they will take some damage. Alright, and then they jump in. Oh, cool. Alright. I didn't realize that they got changed. Or at least I think they got changed. I thought they just used to have a magic attack. Let's see, so that was Bycliffe. 8 Royal Guard go down, but takes out 15 Unsleepings. Marignan then attacks Calum in Veil of Valor. So we've got... This guy's got a quickness, but I don't think we need to watch that one. Let's see, where are we? Just killing PD. And then Atlantis attacking Marignan. Alright, so we've got a small force here. We do have a couple of mages, so we've got a Water 4, an Adept of the Golden Order, a few Forgiving Fathers, I think like 5 or 6. But it's just a little evocation ball, it looks like, and I don't think they're going to have too many problems here. So 8 mages and a mummy. I didn't check. I could check the mummy to see if it's... So it's a Holy 2. Enormous physical strength. And it's geared as a thug. Okay. So let's go ahead and check out the next fight. Where was I? Scroll point. So then Gueladon. Okay, so this is the Atlantis main army killing 1 PD. I suppose we can check out the gear just really quick for folks interested in that. Not a lot of there's a lot of mages here, but there's not a lot of magic happening in terms of gemmed spells. And I do wonder if this is the army that fought up here. It looks different though, or the one that got hit with the magic duel train. I forget where it was though. Alright, then in Calum, we got Calum attacking Marignan. Okay. Just a Skelly spam ball. Let's see. So yeah, a lot of mages just retaking their fort. Marignon against Calum. We've got a more lightly geared Fallen Angel, still just killing PD. Then in Crystal Fields, we've got Tianchi attacking Calum. A few little Shade Beasts and Bats. They should be able to kill that guy. In Ul de Lepa, we've got Marignon attacking Atlantis. 5 mages. Looks like a magic duel group. They're set to retreat. So they get pinged and they retreat. A fair chance one of them might have died. But they also attacked. Interesting. So that was if we magic duel, okay, but I don't want to lose these mages to PD move. Raven Guard finding a fair amount of PD. They should be able to clear this though. Okay. Let's see, so that's here. 9 Raven Guards go down. And working them. We got Marignon attacking Calum. Alright. Then in Amiradon, we've got a fair number of ghouls. But they're going up against the Fallen Angel. This will be tough. The leadership goes down immediately, which honestly might save a fair number of the ghouls. Okay. Then in Stonegrave Mountains, we've got Atlantis attacking Marignon. Fair amount of PD again. Some of the worst evocation I've seen. Okay, now it's getting better. Oh, good grief. So he's completely miffed on 3 Falling Frosts. That was good. There we go. Alright. Then Man attacks Tianchi. Okay, so Man was planning to storm anyways, it looks like. There's some Corpse Constructs and Vine Ogres. There's no magic or undead leadership here, so they're dissolving. So Man, taking the Throne of the Artificer, loses 1 Magister Arcane, but otherwise not too much attrition. And also, I believe, gets his first throne. So Man's probably pretty happy about this turn. did take some attrition, but the siege is over, and it's been a long siege. All right, so we've got Atlantis storming a fort. Now, we have seen this army before. I wonder... This is the one that got magic dueled, I think. Yeah, because the earth boot, or one of the guys died, I thought. Or wait, no. He should have... I thought he had 3 forgiving fathers with stuff. But it looks like it's just 2. I forget from earlier. Stygian Reigns is going up. And Gift of Winter. There's a golem inside, though. He's going to go ahead and doom the enemy army. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the army that got magic dueled, though, not the other big Atlantis one. We've got Rush of Strength going up. Power of the Spheres. Steel Slice is really good. And Winter Ward. And Rewrite Fate. So Twist Fate should help against evocation spam. The Winter Ward helps keep people awake. The Steel Slice helps them kill. It's a very good set of buffs. Then we've got anti-magic. A few more magic duels go out. Grip of Winter. Oh, and Natural Rain. Or no, that's the Stygian Rains. Okay. So Protection versus Mundane is up to 31 on these Ice Guard, and they've all got magic weapons. These guys can try to chip that down with 24 damage. But it's gonna be tough. It's also enough protection that it becomes hard for even crossbows to kill them. If these were the shields, they'd probably be immune to the crossbows, but these are the glaive guys, so they hit a lot harder. Although Ice Strike will do it. Because Ice Strike, in terms of friendly fire, ignores the invulnerability. So, oh, Solar Eclipse too, going up. All these guys are fatigued out. Even the Golem. No Ring of Returning or anything on this Golem, so the Golem's committed. I think a lot of the siege defense relied on the magic duels getting a few key casters. And it looks like they got one, but again, the earth boots and the fire magic guy, neither of them were hurt. And Solar Eclipse is is another good one for Atlantis, because they've got Dark Vision. So it should hurt the stats of these guys. Yeah, -3 from darkness, but well, let's find one that's not almost dead. But for the Atlanteans, it's only -1. I think the Unsleepings, no, they also only have 50. Alright, so the human infantry have been routed. And the Fear Aura from this guy can go out to a couple of squares. We've also got an Earth Elemental showing up. Now the Earth Elemental, let's see, it's not an AP attack. It is a magic attack. But I think you really want water elementals to... I think water elementals are my favorite for killing golems because they do get that AP attack. Alright, so the golem coming in here, it's going to have to kill literally everything. Or Atlantis gets this fort. Pretty convenient stun on the Earth Elemental. Now, evocations can indeed help the golem in here. He does have some regen on it, so the reconstruction. 28 MR, which is also nice. Avoid stuff like opposition spam. And then the elemental armor adds a lot of resist. So it does look like they're going to have to find a way to punch it to death. It did catch a steel slice as well. Does this guy have trample? He does. Now the Atlantean troops are routing. The Long Dead are still in it, though. I think the mages routed. I'm not seeing more stuff. Oh, they are very fatigued. So they are doing stuff, just not very quickly. All right. Let's go Goetic Master, sticking around like a champ. Now, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit, at least until the Leviathan gets into combat. Because it does appear like this could go to Twilight. I have a feeling when it gets to Twilight, the golem's going to go down. But we'll see. The items should still work, and the items are pretty fundamental. Gifts from Heaven. That could do it too. Alright. Let's see what happens when Twilight kicks in. Alright, so all the auras go away. Tough skin for increased prot. Okay. I mean, this Earth Elemental is still hanging out. It could do something. Oh, the Leviathan almost got in there. It seems to be surviving okay, even after Twilight. Now, I think the next check is on round 150. Ooh, it almost got in there. The Atlantis mages should rout. Oh, that was a big hit for 10. But it does regen out. Alright, let's see it on turn 150. So Nightfall, all attackers rout. Okay. And then I believe at round 200, everything just auto dies. So I guess the next question is he able to kill the Leviathan on its way out? Because as these long dead disappear, he should be able to catch up. Any afflictions? Oh, it's got a limp, but the boots of quickness do help a little bit. So speed 4, speed 4. Looks like it's just out of range. Oh, it's a lightning. For the Scutata, Shocking Grasp is, oh, range 1. Okay. So the Leviathan should be able to get away. But if it stays on the field long enough, it'll, I think everything pops. Ooh. That was earlier than I thought. Late night, everyone routs. Okay. I think that was... I think that should be around 200. Because I kind of hate having everything just pop because someone's crippled and running off the field. So that is a feels bad. And the golem popped before the Leviathan, which I think means that Atlantis wins the fort, which is a really shitty ending for this. I really do hate these mechanics. Okay, if Illwinder ever happened to see this, please give enough time for the crippled and limp units to get off the field from the auto route point so that troops don't just, like, pop. Like, let's try and do everything we can to avoid units popping, because it's so annoying. It's like, oh man, this golem stayed up too late and just died. Oh no. Alright. Ah, gosh, that's shitty. So then, does that mean... Alright, so this was an Atlantis attack at Copper Woods. And they capture the fortress. So Atlantis loses the battle, but gets to capture the fort because of an arbitrary time limit, which is fucking stupid. All right. I mean, I've been the beneficiary of this bullshit before. I've killed pretenders with it in Dom 5, but uh because Twilight does reduce the number of times you get to this point, but the crippled and limping units, that's so annoying. You should never win a battle because someone's slow running off the field. At least this type of battle, because like the golem was still running strong. It shouldn't just disappear. It should, in my mind, it should be at least round 200. That way the Leviathan had time to get off the field. And then the correct side would have won, in my opinion. So, that feels bad for Marignan. Okay. So that's how that ends. All right. Let's see it. Leeching Touch. All right, Mage defends himself. And we've got this Goetic Adept defending himself. We've got Walden. Got a Peasant attacking. Just the one, though. All right. Then in Walnut Woods, got a Vampire attack. Ooh, and it lands on TNG, which is pretty unlucky. Now they do have magic bows, but they don't have magic lances or falchions. Unfortunately, they might jump on the commander. They don't. But the vampires did land behind. Okay. So that sucks for TNG. Alright. Let's see. So what's going on here? Alright, so probably using the C11s to create all these kits for the Fallen Angels. Let's see, so we've got we've got 3 different factions in this cave. It's pretty nuts. And then on the overworld map, all right, so Marignan continuing to try and win the game here. Is this? Oh, it's a disease demon killing a merciful mother. Oh, whoops. Forgot to hit play again. Here we go. So it's already diseased. Tries smite and gets killed for it. Okay. So I believe that was the Siege of Copper Woods. So losing this gains Atlantis 6 gems. It starts isolating the Marignan stuff over here. We saw that one. We saw that one. It's going to be very hard to root Atlantis out of this, especially once they temple it. They get their Dominion in here. This is a key point in the Dominion War. Controls access to this cave, which is... It's 2, 3, 4, 5 more gems if Atlantis pushes in there. So a pretty significant. This is gonna that golem stuff is gonna have a pretty significant impact on the game, I think. All right, so we should have another disease demon here. Chainmail displacement twice spawned with gems. This might gem bait. It does. All right, so Living Clouds is out. So I don't know if this guy was supposed to do something big in an army. It's an Air 4 with gems. It might be the army of Mistcaster. But, I mean, that mage is... I guess it flew away somewhere. Okay. So Marignon's got a very tenuous hold here. And this little region and the armies in it are now getting fairly well cut off from the Marignon heartland. And Calum's raiding into Marignon pretty hard as well. So we've got a large Calum army in Swamp of Solitude, a large Atlantis army in Gueladon, and then, ooh, that Conjuration discount site. So Marignon's going for the Conjuration discount site. I think that, pretty sure their summons are Conjuration. The Fallen Angels, so that would let them get a lot more angels. Disease Demon on a Ghoul Commander. So that's why that PD routed. So the scout ping afterwards for that assassination. Alright, so Tianchi is limited to just his 2 forts now and a little bit of his cap circle. Gets a new raiding party every turn, but we had a couple of them die this turn. So the Walnut Woods party got vampired on. And Calum is kind of moving in. They're like, okay, I've bled too much for this TNG stuff, so I'm going to move in here and set my boundary, which means it does seem like they intend to fight TNG, even while they're getting attacked all over by Marignon. Three assassinations. All right, let's watch these. Pretty bougie little kits. So now 11 MR assassins can get mind hunted, and man does have mind hunt, but he might not have the boosters to set up the casters for it. But now that he controls the fort, he can patrol them out. They don't have, I mean, they have some stealth, but it's nothing crazy. But yeah, that guy had Sacred Bodyguards, but he couldn't bless them. The Kushi going down HP around him. Yeah, I mean, this guy's got some okay stats. Did pick up a chest wound. Oh, that's from the Blackheart. Never mind. So he can fatigue out fairly quickly. He's got a full little kit of gear. All right, so that one's successful. Let's go ahead and see what happens in this one. Ooh, the Shockwave missing cost him. Really quick, I want to see if there was any gear on this guy. A few pearls. That could have been handy. Maybe he was meant to do something, like, I don't know, some sort of mass twist fate as part of a communion. Maybe that was an anti-magic caster, although I thought he had an anti-magic caster. Oh, no, that might have been it. Maybe he had a little bit of redundancy. It looks like there's a few of them with multiple pearls. These are S2s. It could also just be multiple magic duels queued up. Okay. So I think Man's in a pretty good spot here. They should be finished with their TNG conquests, at least for the moment. Now, Marignon, Man's running, I think, neutral heat scales. Well, we're in the middle of winter. They might be running heat. So Marignon, I don't know that they're the game leader anymore. They have a few significant armies, but there's large armies arrayed against them as well. As a one cap, and this is just my opinion, you are not responsible for game state as a one cap. You are responsible for surviving and growing. And so it doesn't look like Marignon's about to win immediately. Does have Glen of Justice under siege, but doesn't have a great presence around Packwoods. There's large armies nearby to try and stop him. Still has not taken out the monolith. Marignon also is trying to isolate and launch a siege for Pustinian. So he is trying to rush through this. The Patala army has finally moved out. Unfortunately, I think a better move would have been having some sort of army that could take this throne. I don't know if it would have just taken a bunch of fallen angels with gate cleavers on attack largest or something, but and like you just accept that you're going to lose some of them, or you throw out a bunch of Evo bait, or you try to soul slay it. But I feel like this army would have a far better shot going after Glen of Justice as part of the Calum offensive than it necessarily does trying to go after Pustinia. Because this fort is a lot easier to crack. It's only 500 wall integrity. This one's 1,500. And this is only a couple hundred troops at this point. And the communion just burned out. And it got Jim burned. So I think this army has to... ideally should turn around. Which means walking back over the Well of Pestilence. There's a growing presence. Oh, we've got a lot of assassinations this turn. Let's say another disease demon. And they're not all from blood hunting. Almost got him with the magma bolts. I mean, there's not much inside. But we're getting to the stage of the game where Atlantis could gateway into the throne. Let's see what else here. Okay. I mean, you'd be fighting very high enemy dominion, very cold enemy dominion, with about 400 troops. You just got shown Grip of Winter and Stygian Rains. And Solar Eclipse. Although there's probably an army that could be built. You know, the Atlantis stuff could move over. I mean, the siege would take a while, I would think. Unless you rolled in a bunch of gate cleavers. And so the threat from Marignon throne rushing is pretty legitimate. But it doesn't look imminent. He still has to clear this. Well, he's got 3 options. He has to take 2 of these 3, at least so far. He doesn't seem close to cracking Glen of Justice, unless all these angels end up with gate cleavers and just show up here and take it. In which case you would have maybe a turn to react. This siege will probably take forever. And I doubt there could be enough gate cleavers to do both at the same time. I mean, it's possible he could pull it off, but it doesn't seem likely. This doesn't look like, at least from the scouting report, because it's mostly soulless, this doesn't seem like a great army for taking this throne. Seems like more blood hunting. So realistically, it's looking like just these two for the moment. And the prognosis doesn't look great. So I think as man, you can either... Now, he might not have as much of a view of the game state as we do. But as man, I think you look at this and you have to make a call. You could throw your lot in with Marignon. Knowing that Calum and Atlantis have to spend more of their resources defending against Marignon than defending against you, you might be able to get some peace deals out of it. Another thing is this could end up being the last war. So I'm not sure if both players can fully kill Marignon in terms of Calum and Atlantis. We've got a bunch of unclaimed thrones. I think Throne of Earth, Throne of the Artificer is going to be man's. You need 6 thrones to win. Throne of Dreams and Throne of Fortune. I think Throne of Dreams is Marignon. Okay, yeah, so Throne of Dreams is Marignon, but I think Throne of Fortune is Pack Woods, and that's Atlantis. So Atlantis is on 3. Marignon is on 3. So as Calum, you can't keep fighting Marignon, I think, until they're dead. Because then I think that just sets you up for potentially maybe you and Man trying to solo Atlantis, which could be very difficult. Alright, sorry about that. Had to leave for about 10 minutes, so I've kind of forgotten what I was talking about. I think it was related to what Man might be doing or want to do now that they've taken Felden Forest. They could take a few turns to consider, but the game state is moving pretty fast. Maybe there's some sort of split that could be done diplomatically. Where they could agree to what thrones Marignon has to, like, who they go to. I think that would be difficult, though. I think if Atlantis is winning, they're going to want to try and win, because the odds are they would be position 1 at that point, and then Calum and Man would be fighting Atlantis then, most likely. Because, I mean, Calum's just taking an absolute beating. Now, if anyone could expand quickly and seize a bunch of territory, it would be Calum. But they're also facing... It seems like Calum's getting the brunt of what Marignon's attacking with. Another thing Man could do, and just be like... They could just be like, okay, you guys sort out whatever the hell's going on. And then talk to Calum and be like, Calum, let me go fight TNG here. It seems like you've got bigger concerns. I know Calum's bled a lot for this region, but I mean, this is a lot of stuff, and it would be a useful way to keep Man on side, I guess. is to maybe point him in the direction of the TNG cap. So, I mean, that could be one thing, and then hope that you can find an answer to these fallen angels, start killing them, and then maybe put together armies that can fight Marignon. Or at least do a lot of raiding, seize a lot of territory. Because it does look like Atlantis could come out of this because they got the clean Dom kill over Agartha. It could potentially mean, and because of that, I think they've got maybe one more army than they might otherwise should be able to field at this point. And because Marignon's now in the 1v2, that puts, I think that makes Atlantis potentially a game leader. If Marignon can't pull this off, I think it's a very high probability that Atlantis wins. Atlantis does have some strengths. So it looks like this army wants to come down here and siege Cetus. But if they take Cetus and they join up here, then he's going to have his full sort of column. And he can just start cutting in on Marignon. He wouldn't... I mean, Kalen would want probably all of this. Because it's... You know, this is TNG spoils that they probably wanted, and it's Kalem lands. But Atlantis getting Cetus would be a bit of a bastion. Another 1,500 wall integrity fort that they could defend in Gateway 2. And then Atlantis could use the fact that they've kind of cut off Kalem a little bit. Kalem would push in left. And then Atlantis would push to the right. And it seems like that would be easier for Atlantis. They could work on taking the Weald. They could work on taking Walden, assuming they can defend Postania. And then they would have 4. Yeah, I think that would give them 4 thrones. 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they've also got Pack Woods. I forget if I counted Pack Woods before. Okay, so that would be 5. And then they could do one solid push at Gold Mountains and maybe win the game. It seems like a fair plan. And it lets Kalem once again take the brunt of the fighting, because Kalem would have to fight the Marignon army on its Conjuration discount site. Now, if Kalem gets stomped, that Marignon army could end up pushing up to Pack Woods, and then Atlantis will have to deal with it. But I think it's looking like to me at this point that Atlantis could potentially win this. Unless Marignon can pull out some really good play. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. They've had a lot of good play so far, but they've taken a lot of mage attrition this turn. The magic duels, the communion burning out, I think they've probably lost like 24, 25 mages this turn, which is definitely multiple turns of recruitment. Let's see. Just kind of go through it really quick. Yeah, so there's 8. Didn't lose anyone from this army. I lost 16 there, so that, yeah, 24 mages. And man also lost 10 mages. So the only one not taking grievous mage losses is Atlantis at the moment. And potentially Calum. I don't think Calum took a lot of mage losses this turn, but they've taken a lot of attrition throughout the game. They've done a lot of fighting. A lot of fun to watch them. But I don't think it's been great for their chances to win. Okay, so 24, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 mages plus the golem makes 30, and the golem's a pretty significant loss. And in exchange, he gets 3 forgiving fathers. Okay. So 30 mages is even with citadels, that's probably at least 3 turns of recruitment. So it's pretty brutal attrition. And that one army is going to be significantly less effective in combat. Now, no one's really, or at least on the Calum front, Atlantis probably has better answers to these fallen angels because they have harder hitting magic weapons. The little 13 damage ice spears that Calum has don't always do a lot. But if he does get an answer to these angels, I think we're going to see the Marignon position rapidly deteriorate. And then it's going to be Calum and Atlantis racing for territory. Calum does race a lot faster, but they've also taken more attrition. And I think Atlantis is setting themselves up pretty well, because they've got this border with Walden. They've got Peck Woods. They've got a border, almost, kind of. They need to get Smacia. Once they take Smacia, then they'll have a border with Gold Mountains. They've got a border with the Weald. They've got Range of Faith and Pustinia. So if they can, yeah, just keep pushing Marignon back and then put together armies. If they can defeat this army, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but it's mainly soulless. It's siege chaff. It's not mages, at least it looks like, that are going to enable this army to take Pustinia after the communion burned out. So I think Atlantis will defend here. It'll take them a while to kill all of this. Marignon might do a lot of raiding and get economic damage done, but I mean, we've got a fair number of Atlantean groups forming in various forts that can go out and start counter raiding. I do think his troops will trade well with Marignon, especially in the cold with all their ice protection. I just think this would have been a better fort to go get, and then you come up with a plan for the Weald, and you 3 red seconds it. Three, 4. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but then he would have needed to take Peck Woods. Yeah. I think Marignon's toast. It, even with the angels, even with the steel ovens. I mean, unless they come out with some magic that I haven't seen, or that we haven't seen from them yet. Like if they start rolling out a bunch of demon knights, that could do it, I think. Or more of these Frost Fiends. Although a Cold Blast isn't great against Ice Guard. I mean, it was doing okay against the Unsleeping because I don't think they had Cold Resist, but I don't think it does anything to the Ice Guard. I don't know. It seems like Firestorm is AP damage. You'd have to win. I think Fatigue plays. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to kill Atlantis armies. Probably enslave mind stuff like he did in that one fight. Maybe Master Enslave. Could you rot? Was it? Maybe Wrathful Skies would probably be pretty good too. And Angels, I think, should set up for a decent Wrathful Skies trap. Oh no, they don't have those paths. But you could try to do like Rigor Mortis Wrathful to trit out Atlantis armies. But I think it's going to be very difficult for Marignon going out from here with this Communion burning out. Yeah, I just think the Glen of Justice seems like it would have been a better choice. Okay. So, I mean, a lot of the Satis region is going to fall now, I think, because this army... I mean, I suppose this army could run over and try to rescue Satis. But they've just cracked Khaljuk, and Khaljuk might be better viewed. Although I think Kalem's going to fight for it. It does have a big army here in Swamp of Solitude. We got a new Deva here. I think it's a new one. Deva of Shooting Stars. I mean, he is getting somewhat close to just knocking Kalem out of the war. So I think he's going to continue to focus on Kalem. Maybe that's the path forward for Marignon, is you try to bleed as slowly as possible to Atlantis, kill Kalem, or at least knock them out, put all their forts under siege or something. And then you can pivot to Atlantis. But I have to think that would, by the time you accomplish that, Atlantis is going to be very close to winning the game because they're just going to keep chugging along. Okay, cool. So, oh yeah, and Atlantis has Earthblood Deepwell. Okay. Yeah, I think Atlantis is my favorite now to win this game. I'm not sure if they were my favorite last term, but I think they are now. And I've probably rambled enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.